so delighted to be here today and been invited to come today. Thank you, Jane. Partly because, as you can tell, I'm mostly known as the woo-woo girl. So only a few short years ago, somebody like me probably wouldn't have been invited to something like this. And but now, as science gets more sensitive and science is able to measure more, so it's able to measure our electromagnetic field. It can, measure our heart, and it can measure our brain waves as well. So meditation now is not something that's really seen as woo-woo. It's kind of being accepted, and it's kind of being accepted because there is scientific evidence to back it up and prove it. So I specifically asked to follow Pam this morning because a lot of what she's talked about is exactly what I do in my work. And I could speak a lot about what I do, but I've given you all a leaflet, and do come and get a leaflet as well if you haven't got one in your bag. Because really it's the sound meditation is about experiencing it rather than sort of me talking about it. So that's the best way that I can really get across the amazing benefits of sound therapy. So in exactly the same way as what Pam just did with you with the heart coherence, that's what I do using sound basically. So I'm going to give you a sound bath in a minute, and usually my sound baths last about 45 minutes to an hour. So this is just like a really small snippet that you're going to get today, like 10 minutes hopefully. So but just pay attention to how you feel at the end of it, and even just that short breathing through the heart that we just did with Pam. You can already feel how everything just slowed down, and you started to switch off from that sympathetic branch of the nervous system to the parasympathetic branch of the nervous system, that rest and repair. So that card's lovely as well, because that really relates to what I'm doing with the sound. So normally I go out and do group meditations, and it's really about the whole mind, body and spirit connection. So we're not just kind of looking at human beings as kind of flesh suits, and we're not just looking from what we're thinking about from the mental point of view, but we're also bringing in the kind of spiritual as well, because pretty much everybody, no matter what your beliefs or religion, most people realise that there's something more than just us walking around, and when we die, that's it. So there is that spiritual element of bringing that back into our daily lives, that connection we've kind of lost, really kind of like through the Industrial Revolution and sort of, and Western society is all about, outside success and outside things to make us happy. So we've lost that ability to kind of connect in with that spirit. So sound meditation incorporates all of that as well. Just a quick sort of like history of who I am. So I worked for the NHS for many years, and like a lot of people in the NHS ended up with burnout and stress-related chronic illness. So I was diagnosed with ME and chronic fatigue in 2015, had to step back from the front of house role I had as a GP receptionist and went into more of an admin role. But basically there was no cure for ME and chronic fatigue in conventional medicine. So I was kind of like left on my own to sort of find alternative treatments. Luckily, I'm a woo-woo girl. So I'd heard about gong baths and thought, well, I'll give anything a try. And they really, really helped me. And they had such a great effect on me of quietening my mind, the busy mind, the chatter mind, because by the time I'd got diagnosed with ME, my immune system had completely collapsed because of stress. And basically I was an overthinker. And I was anxiety ridden, waking up at 2 a.m. and not being able to get back to sleep because of the stories and the mental sort of loops I was in. So I really needed something to shut that off. And when I went to my first gong bath, that's exactly the effect that it had. It's like the monkey mind just sort of like went, and it And it's like, oh my God, this is great. So so I was able to find me again underneath the negative mind loops. And I am a trained hypnotherapist as well, and in mindfulness. So I understand how the mind works, and I understand how we get caught in those patterns. So, and that's why it's so important to get that heart coherence, because when we go into heart coherence, then that is us. The heart really is the gateway to the soul, whereas the mind is very human based. So it's got all of the limiting beliefs, all of the kind of like, the programming that we've picked up, the negative experience that we've been through. So getting back into that heart coherence is, I'm passionate about, is the way forward. So anyway, okay. So if you'd like to close your eyes. And if you want to put your hand back on your heart, you can. And go back to, as Pam taught you, to breathe in and out through the heart. And while you're doing this, just paying attention to what you can hear with your ears. And just being aware of what we can hear brings us into present moment awareness. So even just being aware of the sounds that we can hear stops our mind wandering into the future and worrying about things that haven't happened yet, which is anxiety. And it helps us keep in the present moment so our mind isn't wandering into the past and going over old things that we can't change or old stories. And then just listen to the sounds of the bowls. And allow the sounds of the bowls to help you relax. And as you exhale, just dropping the shoulders and releasing any tension that you can feel in the body. Just notice how the sounds make you feel. So don't just listen to the sounds with your ears, but listen to the sounds with your whole body. Sound meditations really are about experiencing the sound and feeling the sound rather than thinking about the sounds. And as you listen to the sounds, just imagine beautiful liquid sunlight, easy to imagine on this beautiful day, starting to pour in from the top of your head. And this beautiful liquid light starts to move down behind your eyes, down through your head into your neck. And just imagine this beautiful light dissolves any lower thoughts, any stress, any thoughts that don't help you or serve you. And this beautiful golden light carries on down the rest of your body, across your shoulders, down through your arms, all the way down to the tips of your fingers, through your body, opening up that heart space. Just imagine how it feels to have this beautiful liquid sunshine light, washing away anything that no longer serves you, nourishing you, warming you. And on this goes this beautiful light. Lighting up every single cell of the body. And just feeling how your muscles start to relax and release as this light moves further down your body into your legs. Through your knees, your calves, and out through the bottom of your feet. And as you imagine this beautiful sparkling light, also think of something that makes you smile. Somebody you love, a baby animal, or even just sitting in nature, somewhere that's special to you, that brings you that feeling of peace, feeling of joy. So all of these feelings, joy, peace, unconditional love, they have a vibration, they have a frequency. What you're doing is just aligning with these frequencies. And you can just drift and float in these beautiful feelings. Let the sounds and the vibrations gently hold you. Always feeling that centering in the heart. Staying with those beautiful feelings. Just letting your mind drift and float. And allowing thoughts to just move across your consciousness like clouds on a summer's day. Without judgment. Without attaching any stories to them, just letting them drift. Remembering that you are the consciousness behind those clouds. You are the blue sky. So just notice now how you're feeling. Notice if there's any difference to when you first came in this morning, or even before you heard the sounds. Again, there's no judgment, it's just noticing how you're feeling. Do you feel a bit more centered, a bit more balanced, even in that short while? And if you do, just remember how that feels, because it's always there. The frequency of peace, it's always within us. It's actually our natural state of being. And we can go back there quite quickly any time that we want. So that was actually just 10 minutes. And you can open your eyes. So just in 10 minutes you can completely change how you're feeling, and you can completely go into that rest and repair. And that will help your blood pressure, it will help your immune system, it will help, your general stress levels. And just notice how clearer you can think just after 10 minutes. Because meditation, it doesn't have to be a long drawn out, hour, trying to find an hour in your day, or sitting going om, dressed in white, You can do that as well, but most of us haven't got the time or the luxury to do it. So just 10 minutes, everybody can find 10 minutes in their day. So if you'd like to experience a full sound bath, then have a look at my website. I do Tewkesbury, Malvern and Evesham on a regular basis. I've also got my own therapy room in West Malvern where I can do one-to-one work, or I can have up to you and 5 other friends if you want to come for a private session, a private sound bath. And those are really lovely because I'm not hiring a horse, so I don't have to push you out as soon as we finish. So people do like to come to those. It's really nice, sort of like pampering self-care session. So thank you for indulging in that, and thank you for sort of like closing your eyes and going with that. Even if you haven't had an experience with sound before, hopefully it was hopefully you enjoyed it and you'd like to explore more. So thank you.